Alrighty, hello. So actually I have a good one today. So I have the 10 safest dividend stocks you can purchase. And when I say safe, it's not what you think. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you what this is all about here in a second. Alrighty, so what does safe mean? So safe actually probably means something different than what you actually think. So no stock is safe, let's put it that way. If you're investing in a stock, it's going to have some risk involved, so just keep that in mind. I'm not recommending anyone buy these things. I'm just telling you how to look at investments, and you can kind of weigh your own options, see what's out there. So when I say the 10 safest dividend stocks, it just means that those dividends aren't going to go away. It does not mean that the stock can't tank or the stock can't go up or down. But generally speaking, these are pretty big companies. You probably have a lower chance of that with these companies. But the stock, when I say safe dividends, what I mean is the dividends have been getting paid for 50 years, and every year they increase. So every year you can expect that that dividend is going to stay about the same or increase. And so if it's a 5% dividend, a 4% dividend, it's going to keep going up, and it's basically going to continue for many, many years. A lot of other stocks may have a big dividend, you purchase it, and then all of a sudden the dividend drops and it's got no dividend the next year. I mean, like GE was a company that actually really dropped their dividend. Some other companies did as well. And then what you do is, you have all this money invested in it, you're taking a risk, and then you lose the dividend. So with these stocks, I'm going to show you here in a second, these are going to be kind of safe because they've had a long while of dividends, always paying out dividends, but by no means is any stock safe. So just keep that in mind when you're watching, because obviously I don't want anyone to lose money. And anyways, before I go on, if everyone can just hopefully subscribe to my channel. I got about 100 subscribers. I'm trying to get that built up. I do about 2 videos a week. One's on tech and one is on actually investing. Sometimes I do 2 on investing and things like that. So go ahead and hopefully click the like button, the subscribe button, and watch the rest of the video. All right, so let's dive into this. And when I say, again, safe stocks, I don't mean actually safe. I mean that they're basically dividends are going to be being paid every year for many, many years. The actual stocks are going to fluctuate. And all these stocks, I want to make this perfectly clear, are long-term investments. And I'm going to show you why in a second. They almost always follow the same pattern. And you have to be in it, a long time, 10, maybe 20 years. And you'll get that dividend, plus you'll get the stock. You can get out when the stock goes up, and you can usually make some good money at this. But again, these are risky, just like any stocks are. But these are a little bit more stable on the dividend side. So over here, if you look at AT&T, for example, stock symbol T, it does about a 6 to 6.3% dividend, and year-to-date returns are about 12.8%. And they've been the key number here is they've been paying dividends here since 1984. So that's what is that coming up to? Close to 30 years that they've been paying continuous dividends, and that's what I mean by safe. That means that their dividends aren't going to be going down usually, and they're also going to be paying them out every single year without any hiccups. The second company here is HCP. Again, 4.8% annual dividend. If you look over here, they've been paying since 1985, very similar to AT&T. They've had a pretty good run so far, and again, that's kind of what you're looking at the numbers wise. So I'm going to go through 10 of these, and then I'm going to show you some really why these things are longer term investments, and what they classify as safe long-term investments, but they're not safe short-term investments. Next one's ExxonMobil. Everyone's heard of this. 4.1%, pretty strong dividend for the stock. They've been paying a dividend since 1882. So if you can imagine, we're talking obviously over 100 and something years. They've had a strong year as well, but basically this is anything that's strong this year, it could change tomorrow, so that the past does not predict the future. Just remember that with stocks. Next one is Chevron, CV. X, 4%, same thing since 1912. So as we go down this list here, Consolidated Edison, if you look at this, again, 3.5% since 1885, they've been paying dividends. Go down the list, these are going to be very familiar names, except for maybe this one. This is a stock symbol, LEG, since 1939. A lot of people may not know about this, but it's actually a fairly big company. Coca-Cola's in here as well. They've been paying since 1983. They've had a little worse year this year, but basically they do have a 3.4% dividend, and obviously probably they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But as we go on this list, University, this is I believe a REIT, basically, but it's since 1987. Kimberly-Clark since 1935. Archer McDaniels Midland, 1927. Target is 1965, believe it or not. Pepsi is 1952. So again, these are Procter & Gamble, 1981. These are stocks that are going to be paying like that 3 to 4% dividend, but they're very, very consistently been paying dividends since a long time ago. And that's really important when you're looking at what I classify as safe, not so much the stock. So let's dive into maybe the first 3 of these here and just show you what I mean by this. So if we go up here to the first one, which is AT&T, and let me go ahead and just zoom in on this so everyone can actually see it a little bit better. The main thing here is, like, let's say you're looking at this, and over the course since 1988, look at, it was down around 536. Now it's somewhere up around $32. But over the course of this whole time period here, you had a lot of ups and downs. In fact, there's a lot of scary years that you had up here and things like that. But during that entire time, you're looking at a 6.34% now. It keeps growing dividend yield. So that's kind of helping with a little bit of these scary moments. So over the course from this many years, you're going to be getting this on a yearly basis. So times that by how many years you're in the stock. This up and down is going to always happen, and you do definitely have some periods where you're going to have to stomach it, and that's the difference with these stocks. You're going to have these periods, and I'm going to show you. Over 5 years, if you look, 35 to 32, you're not making a lot of money because this stock stayed pretty stagnant. But if you have opportunities to get out, you always have to be confident in that. But if it goes down, you always have to wait it out, so you have to have that time available. The next thing is going to be HCP. Again, this is another stock, the second stock I showed you, with a pretty high dividend of 4.8%. Same thing. Here's the max. Look at this. So basically, over the course of this entire time, it's uptrending, right? It's always going to be uptrending during the course of that time. But again, very consistently, I'm going to show you, over 5 years, this stock has actually lost. You're getting that 5% every year, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% every single year. You just have to kind of pick your choose to exit and make sure you have enough time over that, before you retire, to get out of the market at the right time during the good years. And this is when these stocks can be very powerful. Third one, again, is the same thing. Cardinal Health, stock symbol CAH. Same thing, 4.07% dividend. Look at this, over the course of long term, it's a very good investment long term, always going up. But look at this. I mean, in the last 4 or 5 years, same thing. Stock has been going down. So you could either have gotten out here, or you would have to basically ride this back up, which it probably will happen sooner than later. But again, these are risky, so I'm just kind of showing you what the risk level is, and I'm picking these out just to show you this. This is how this kind of works. Same thing with ExxonMobil. Again, that they're a successful company. They've been, obviously growing for many, many, many years, longer than this even. But look at the 5-year trend, and it's down a little bit. So again, here we go. It's 4.5% dividend. You got to stay with it long term on all these stocks, and they are risky. But over a long period of time, the risk is very minimal. Over short periods of time, the risk can be very high. So just keep that in mind, and then you'll do very well in these stocks. And the one thing about investing that I always tell people is everyone's in a different situation. So some people have a lot more money to kind of what I would classify as take a risk with. Other people have no money. So you got to really classify what your risk level is. And with dividend stocks, you try to go after the safe ones if you want kind of just an income coming in on either, I guess usually quarterly or monthly basis. Or you can go with the more risky stocks if you have more money to kind of fool around with. But by all means, like I said, just, you have to kind of do your own gauge of where you are in life and where your money status is and things like that. No stock is really going to be a safe investment. If you want to do that, go ahead and I have a video on an Ally savings account for about 2.2%. You can get some maybe up to 2.5% now on a savings account. That's what I would classify as a pretty safe FDIC assured account. But these aren't really safe, but these are classified as safer, I guess, compared to some other stocks that are out there. Anyways, also, I always like to add people's comments and things like that. So if you guys have comments on stocks that you think would classify as safe, meaning they've paid out long term and they've been fairly stable stocks, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll definitely make some videos on those in the future. I just want to go ahead and enlighten people on what is out there, and then people can do their own research and figure out what to buy. Alrighty, thanks for watching. And also, I wanted to put that disclaimer in there again. I'm not recommending any of these stocks. Do your own research with everything. Just kind of showing people what's out there as far as the opportunities on stocks, how you can kind of view stocks and things like that. All investments are risky, so just do your own research and stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys in about a week.